Hi guys, it's Meenu. Welcome back to my channel, Storytale. Today we're going to be talking about a new book which has been released recently, and it is Jackal by Erin Adams. Jackal is the debut novel of the author, and I'm really surprised by it that it is a debut novel because it is so good. This is going to be a non-spoiler video. I do not want to ruin it for you guys. This is such an amazing book, and I think you should read it without any problem. Let's talk a little bit about the premise. The story is based around this small town called Johnstown, and this town is basically surrounded by woods. There's this infamous story around this wood that there's this shadow who lurks in the woods, and if he calls out to you and you look at him, it's gonna eat you alive, or at least eat your heart out. This town is basically all white. There are few black people here and there, not many, very few, and this is basically a subtle kind of racist kind of a town because everyone is kind of racist, but in a very subtle way. There have been disappearance of many black girls over the years. It has been around 30 years that one girl is disappearing in the summer nights, and nobody is actually looking into this matter. Nobody thinks that this is a serial killer. They just think that these kind of girls disappear anyway, so nobody has actually done anything about it. The same thing almost happened to our main character here, who is Liz Rosher, and from that day she has been a little bit connected to that shadow or that past. After many years, she is back in town to attend her best friend's wedding, who also has a daughter who is a black daughter because she married a black man. And when the daughter Caroline was with Liz, she suddenly disappeared. Of course, everyone kind of blamed Liz because, of course, again, she's a black woman. So everyone eventually blames her that she has done something or it is her fault. I mean, a little bit is her fault because she did kind of lose track of her, but it is not completely her fault. But anyway, after that, she starts to investigate in these murders or these things that have been happening for many years. We also get to see how racist the town actually is and how this has been happening for so many years, but none of the people have actually looked into it because they are black people. If something like that happened to a white person, maybe they would have done something about it, but because the victims are basically black girls, so nobody is looking much into it. Slowly and steadily, with the help of Liz, we discover the truth that is actually happening. What is the reason behind this disappearance? So who is basically killing these girls? Of course, the reason behind is gonna be racism. We all know that that is not something that is, has been able to hide in this book, and this is kind of this social commentary on the racism, and this book has a lot of social commentary when it comes to racism. In this book, you will see it when you read it, how much unfair the society is with the black people in this book. This is a very hard hitting and gripping kind of a book. Of course, it gets very much explicit in certain scenes. There are a lot of talk about blood, death, intestines, and many things, so it is a little bit gory too. This is a horror at its best. There were certain scenes where I was like thinking the main character not to go into the woods because the wood was kind of calling out to her. So I did not want that to happen because we see the point of view of many girls who have been disappeared over the years. We get their point of views too. So by reading those scenes, we get to see their mindset right before they are killed or kidnapped or whatever. We get to see their point of view, how they had a life, how they had a future, how they had a family, but that has been taken away by this person or entity or whatever, which has been, hiding behind the shadows. So all of their dreams and everything has been crushed, and they died. They are basically teenagers and they died so young, and you get to read that. You get to read all the gory details. You get to read that the person or the entity is kind of eating the heart out. So even the entity is thinking from the point of view of the heart because he has eaten and consumed those hearts, so he kind of feels those feelings. He kind of knows what goes in around their heart. So that is again something very difficult to read. The only problem here is that the point of view kind of jumps from the victim to the person who was inflicting the pain, so that kind of gets a little bit difficult because there is no pause or something like that, a dash or something like that to separate the two POVs. So it gets a little bit confusing there, but that is not a deal breaker. That is a very minor thing. There are some supernatural elements in this book. There's a lot in this book, and you're gonna enjoy every bit of it. This is a journey, and you're not gonna get bored for even a single second, because this is such a gripping book and it is so horrific. Like, it is one of the best horror books that I've read, and I'm really impressed by this one. And this is a debut novel, so that is something to admire too. This is the perfect book for Halloween, because this is scary, this is gory, and there is a lot of things that is happening in this book, especially the unfairness, and you see this society and how this town actually thinks about people and how they treat different people. And of course, the twists and turns are amazing, the ending is amazing. Like I said, I'm really impressed with this one, and this is just a debut novel. I do not know what the author is gonna do in her next novel, but I'm really looking forward to it. My rating for this book is 5 star, because I could not find any fault with this one. I think it was perfect. I think it was amazing. This is one of my top recommendation this Halloween. And if other horror book that you want to read, which is again very amazing, you should read The Only Good Indians. That book is again amazing too. These two books is one of my favorite horror books, apart from the one that I read when I was a kid, and I do not remember the name of the book. But other than that, I think this is something that you should pick up this Halloween. And of course, do let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this book. Did it make you scared too? Was it a little too horrific for you? Did you enjoy it? Do let me know in the comments down below. And of course, I will see you next time. Have a happy Halloween. Bye.